Okay. Did anyone sign up for? Sign up for what?
Public forum.
Okay. Oh. Mark. Oh. It's clear.
Good to go? All right.
Okay.
Welcome to the Tuesday, April 11th, 2023 Authority Board of Commissioners meeting. Appreciate everybody being here. Do we have anybody from the community who is signed up to speak? Hearing none. I get a motion to approve the meeting minutes from our previous meeting, March 1st, to be scheduled for March 14th.
Motion made, Pastor David.
Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Well, thank you. Move right to the action calendar. Item number A0433-10, resolution adopting the 2023 annual plan and approving the submission to the Department of Housing and Urban Development.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. This is what we submit an annual plan on an annual basis as an update to our 5-year plan. So basically, to highlight some of the changes, at some point I will have Cheyenne go over some specifics, but really in general, this annual plan this year is really updating some of the changes that has already occurred within the housing authorities, such as the closing of our financial project at Steamboat 20, and just giving updates to the shuttering of the Lincoln Towers. So just really providing updates that we have done since the last year that it was submitted. In addition to that, HUD has pushed out some rules and regulations that housing authorities must follow. So we've updated the languages in our policies to highlight those specifics. And at that point, I'm going to ask Cheyenne to touch base to kind of go over some of those updates. And they are in your folder on the left-hand side if you want to follow, but she'll have more details to go along with it.
The first change, in accordance with the regulations regarding income. The second, our policy in line with the regulations for the Violence Against Women Act to include sex trafficking as a reason to fall under the guidelines. We revised the flat rent requirement in accordance with the notice from HUD. And then there was some clarification about when filing a complaint about whether it's a general complaint or whether it's a complaint regarding a reasonable accommodation where we would provide assistance or extra time for someone to.
And if I can just go back real quick, just to add a little bit more substance to the over income. This is a rule that has been basically in existence. But in 2016, HUD put out a HOTMA basically reviewing some of the policies outlined in the regulations surrounding over income. Housing authorities were asked to implement and create their own policies. Then HUD basically said, we're going to kind of give you that guidance, additional guidance. So waiting for those additional guidance, we got some within, I want to say, February of 2023. We attended some webinars. We're still waiting on final guidance as it relates to an over-income family not vacating the unit and what to actually charge them. But however, this particular rule and regulation must be implemented in July of 2023. So we have been actually, notifying any families that it would apply to that meets the income guidelines as it's outlined in HUD, which right now we only have one person that meets that guideline. They've been getting the notices and saying that, you're currently over income. And at this point, we're waiting on guidance as to what to do next. So we're in constant communication with that particular household, and we're constantly looking in, as we do re-exams, determining if families meet those criteria as well. So thus far, it's only has affected one family. So just to provide you that substance.
A quick question. They have, if my memory serves correctly, when I reviewed it, they have up to 24 months.
Yes, it's 2 years,
And
yeah.
then there's another recurring period. Is that
So-
recurring, or is that
What
to
it
get more serious, I guess, during the second?
So to answer your question, the first year, you identify whether or not they meet the criteria of the over-income guidelines. If they do, there's wording and certain things that you have to touch on in the notification to advise them that they do. On the second year, if they continuously, because it has to be consecutive years, if they continue to be over-income, you provide them with the language that basically says this is the second year, and we may be looking to terminate your lease at the end of your second year if you continue to meet the over-income criteria. At that point, if there's the second year that we realize, at the end of that second year, we realize that they're continuously over-income, the housing authority has 6 months to terminate the lease.
Okay, so it turns out to be 30 months instead of...
Technically, they try to tell you, what it basically reads is you need to start the action at the end of the 2 years, but you have up to the 6 months. So understanding that families may not be able to find something, so they're trying to be flexible, but they try to, encourage you to act on it. So you're basically giving them 2 years to know that at some point you will have to vacate to open up that slot for a family in need.
Got it. Now, have you ever had to, not you, but has the housing authority ever had to exercise that right?
We have not, because HUD just pushed out the final ruling on the HOTMA regulations, giving us more guidance. So we have never had to terminate someone's lease due to over-income at this point, because we've been waiting on guidance. All we've been doing is notifying them and keeping them updated with the policy as it comes out, as the rules come out.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And the one thing before you get, go ahead, Cheyenne, I'll just touch on it after. You can move on to Section 8. Thank you.
Okay. The first change in the Section 8 admin plan is going to be the addition of 2 preferences in the applications category. So the first one is families seeking an emergency transfer from the Public Housing Authority program or other covered housing program operated by the Housing Authority under the Violence Against Women Act. And the second one is families that include a member who is a person with disabilities as defined by HUD. However, there will not be a preference for a specific disability. The second is briefings and voucher issuance. There was addition of guidance regarding remote briefings. However, we do still stress in-person briefings because we feel we're able to engage more with the resident because it's so much information that they have to go over. However, we will make accommodations for people who are unable to attend. Next one is for income verification. The addition of guidance requiring the use of the income validation tool, which is in HUD system, at the annual reexamination, and the addition of guidance allowing the family to self-certify assets totaling less than $5,000 after annual reexamination. The next one is for housing quality standards and rent reasonableness, which would be determining eligibility for a unit and inspection. So there was guidance for remote inspections, and our policy currently states that we will not conduct inspections using that tool. However, we can update at any time if we wanted to. In addition, the Risk Management Department and Section 8 Department worked together and reviewed our process and determined that we would keep our abatement period at 60 days. And what that is when a Section 8 unit fails twice, it goes into what we call abatement, where we withhold the rent from the landlord until the repairs are made, or either we issue the tenant a voucher to move. The next thing is general leasing policies, which is the addition of the emergency housing voucher as an acceptable program under which an initial lease is shorter than 1 year. So normally, we require that a lease be the length of 1 year, but under this program, since it's for emergency housing, we will accept a shorter lease in order to house a person who needs the assistance. Next thing is owners. So the addition And this section is gonna refer to our obligation to protect the family should the property go into foreclosure. We would provide assistance to the family to make sure that they either are able to be moved and keep their voucher or stay in the unit that they
Yep.
are in. Another thing that was added in the program integrity section is the additional of sexual or other harassment that is prohibited by owners. So now, owner contract will be able to be terminated if they feel harassed. The addition of guidance on conducting remote and informal hearings. Due to COVID, we have been introduced to a remote world, and we are taking into consideration when people are unable to attend, so we can do hearings remotely if necessary. And the last two things are the two new chapters that were added for, RAD, project-based vouchers, which is the rental assistance administration, and the special program chapters, and those will all follow guidance from us.
Yep. That concludes all of the highlighted updates and changes. I do want to point out, there was an omission of a check mark on section E4, I believe. It said challenge element. The answer is no. Did the public challenge any elements of the plan? The answer is no. We had our public meeting. We had a great turnout. It was one that was so interactive and informative on both sides. And I thought that it went very well and encouraging because, we really want to work on building and strengthening our relationships with, our residents. And so there's a campaign that will begin where, I will be specifically touring these developments and encouraging, participation in tenant associations and really trying to build a network of, developments that we can all work together and, change, make some positive changes throughout the, profile of the housing authority. So really trying to encourage involvement with our residents. So that campaign will start soon. We're working on our toolkit and building up, the packages and how we're gonna roll it out. So that was one thing that I introduced to, the members that attended our public hearing. So it was a really good hearing, and I wanna say throughout all the years that I've been here and been conducting public hearings, this was the largest crowd that we had, and I will say that it was mostly contributed to the technology that we use on One Call Now and being able to remind our residents that we're having it and where it's going to be, and people showed up, and it was really, really good. At least I thought it was.
It was very good. It was very interactive. I think it was a chance for you to be able to speak directly with residents,
Yeah.
and it showed us, going forward, we will do that more. And I think just seeing that everybody that was there all said, we got the text.
Yeah, it was good. So it's working.
That's good. I can't help but think that part of it, not saying major part, but part of it has to be due to the fact that the residents now feel that they can talk with you and get some results for the concerns that they might have.
Yeah.
If that was a concern in the past and they felt that there was not going to be any change, I don't think that they would come no matter
Right.
what type of media you use to communicate with them. So I'm simply saying, that's hats off to you and Cheyenne and your team.
Thank you.
Making them feel comfortable, having that open door policy, addressing their needs. I'll say in a positive way, although not all solutions can be done positively, but it's done with integrity and character, and I'm telling you, that makes all the difference in the world. So that's just my 2 cents based on my interaction with people.
Thank you.
Thank you guys
Thank
for
you.
representing well.
We really strive to empower our residents to, speak for themselves and, speak up so that, because this is their home. We don't all know everything that's happening, and we can't make those changes if they don't inform us.
Right.
So I see.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
The idea of encouraging engagement with residents is probably not too new, but it's a really healthy way to approach, what we're doing here.
Absolutely.
Lord knows nobody wanted to talk to Steve.
I saw him a few weeks ago. Let me tell everybody hi.
Hi.
All over at Price Chop.
He can speak.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Who has his hand?
Hi, Commissioner Bob Semple.
Hi, how you doing? Nice and rainy where I'm at. I'm going back to the residents and their, I just clarifying, don't we know, don't they have to re-up every year? So we would know if they're over their, lease? Wouldn't we know that already?
Income
Don't it?
eligibility, he wants to know.
You're referencing the income eligibility?
Yes.
Yes,
I think
yes,
so.
yeah. Yep,
That's
yes.
how we identify if they're, yes, every year, the annual examination identifies whether or not they meet the criteria as for being over income. Yes, it's done annually.
Right. So we wouldn't have to wait for them. We would know already if they did their regular annual thing, right? No?
That's the way we have to do it, yes.
Okay. I was just trying
Yes.
to clarify. Okay.
That's, Mark, I think that's the process,
Yes,
right?
that is the process.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I was
Thank
trying
you.
to see what,
I'm sorry?
no, I was trying to see
Probably
if something, I was trying to see if something was different, but that was always been the process, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
That's all I have. Sorry.
Thank you. That concludes our report about the annual plan, unless there's other questions.
Questions, comments, concerns by anybody? Okay, can I get a motion?
Motion made, Pastor.
Can I get a second? Thank you. All in favor?
Aye. Very well done.
Thank you.
We can, move to committee reports, if we have any reports on committees.
I don't know if Mark is able to provide the report for the program. They are outlined in your folder. Mark, are you providing the
No.
report, or would you like me to go over?
If you can, because I'm limited with my internet.
Okay.
But I do want to mention that the program committee is working with a lot of different, we're looking into working with, seeing what's going on with summer programs, because it's coming up. So we're going to make decisions on that and stuff like that. But outside of that, it is outlined in your report. And Shakita, if you could highlight some of those things, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely. Going by the report that was submitted, right now, the main focus and what we're working on is additional free public Wi-Fi locations that are being installed. And this is part of the digital literacy grant with support from the Friends and Foundation of the Albany Public Library. Currently, the locations that we have outdoor right now are at 230 Green Street, which is near the playground and the bike trail. 624 South Pearl Street, which is the Ezra Princess basketball courts. 41 Jennings Drive, manager's office and surrounding green space. And Ida redevelopment, which is the courtyard playground, the community garden, and the community room. We are also working on installing at the phase 2. The other locations will include Capitol Woods, Robert Whalen, Ezra Princess in addition to the basketball court. So anything outside of the basketball court, those areas. Creighton Story Homes, 280 North, Westview Homes, Townsend, Eagle Court, Capitol South Campus Center, and then the Albany Housing Authority Resource Center, which is located at 200 Green Street. So those are the locations that we're seeking to install the Wi-Fi access in our phase 2.
Is there a cost attached to that?
No.
Okay.
It's a grant, yes. And then the, I want to say, the Housing Authority and the Friends and Foundation of the Albany Public Library will collaborate with SUNY Attain to provide free training to recipients of the laptop giveaway program. And through this program, it'll be located at the 200 Green Street location. They'll also create custom training for various digital literacy skill levels to complete before utilizing the laptops. So Attain will provide fraud and security training for seniors receiving laptops in collaboration with LifePath and Senior Services. And then there's anticipation of a press conference that will be held at sometime in June that we'll be working on for this project to increase awareness of the Wi-Fi locations, which will later be determined. So that concludes the report.
So, and maybe we can come up with a map, maybe, for folks, because most folks are visual, we can do that.
Absolutely.
Around the locations, and then also, phase two, I'm assuming it's currently, so is there like a final, date of completion or whatever? And
The anticipation, according to what I understand, and don't quote me 100%, is because the press conference is scheduled sometime in June. I believe that that's the point that should conclude all installations. I will add that at these, the 4 locations where they're currently at, we have signs that are visible that says free Wi-Fi, but the map is a great idea that we can also create once everything is completed. Absolutely. And we'll make sure that it's on our website so that if they click on it, kind of like what we do with our developments. Okay?
We also post every time one comes online to our social media.
Right. Oh, and then we also do the One Call Now.
Yep.
We send it out to the text message as well once it goes to those developments. So yeah, that's what we're doing. And then as Commissioner Bob Simple mentioned, there are, we're taking a look at summer activities and what we have done in the past and what we can do currently, given in consideration of what we've lost over the past 3 years in income towards rent, which is still consistent to $3.3 million. So it still poses a challenge for us to be able to support, programs that we have done in the past. So we will look at them on a case-by-case basis, see if we can, or if we can, how much. So we'll make those determinations on a collective approach.
Good.
That concludes any program activities that we might have at this point. Chairman, would you like me to move on to the executive summary?
Unless we have anything else or any other questions?
For me, it's just a thanks for what you guys did last month.
Oh.
The public comment.
Absolutely.
Policy.
It was hotly debated.
I'm sure that 1 minute, I'm sure that's almost the whole meeting.
We finally got it done.
But it was definitely needed. Thanks to Mr. Rodriguez for bringing it to our attention so that the concerns of the residents can be expressed in a quote unquote a more timely type of a manner. So, but thank you guys. It was to me, it was a simple thing, so we're still within that 30 minutes.
Yes.
No matter what. So that's all I have. Just to thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Would you like me to?
Yes.
Okay. Well, for the short, I don't have much more of an update. We, as you know, we have planning an event next week. You have samples of what will be passed out for our groundbreaking. So we're moving right along in our development, construction phase
Send a calendar.
of a Steamboat 20, and we'll be sending a calendar invite to everyone about that event. It does conflict with another event that the Housing Authority is partnering with Alert. So unfortunately, I can't be in 2 places at one time, but we will be represented, Pastor. and you can share, just give a quick overview of what's going to be happening on Tuesday, at South Mall Towers, if you don't mind.
Oh, not at all. Through my organization, Alert, we're bringing together, there's 9 law enforcement agencies that's going to be there and 8 community organizations that's providing services for people at the South Mall Towers. It starts at 11:30, runs till 1 o'clock. And it's all centered around engagement. We just really want to get the people, the residents, to engage with law enforcement, making our community stronger, the relationships stronger, and the information that's going to be there. Narcan, I'm going to talk about Narcan, I'm going to talk about fentanyl. Senior fraud is another one that's going to be there. There's various health organizations that's going to be there. Humana, Aetna, MVP is also going to be there, sharing their wares. But the biggest thing, again, is engagement. And this is the first of possibly 3 this year. Last year, we had one here, and we also had one at Westview Apartments. This year, we're having it here, and we're collaborating on the 2nd and possibly 3rd places.
Yes.
So thank you so much for letting us do that, and you're a great partner in that.
Thank you.
Can I have that date?
Tuesday, the 18th at 11:30 at South Mall Towers in their community room.
18?
Yes. 11:30, from 11:30 until 1.
So I can probably show up after that event.
Sure, people would love to see you,
Yeah.
and I've been promoting you as being there, so people are looking forward to meeting you.
Okay.
But if
Well,
you don't show up, believe me, they will understand.
I don't anticipate the program going beyond, that long, so I should be able to, make a presence, have a presence there, so, thank you.
Pardon?
It's 45.
No, it's across the street. It's at the South Mall Towers right here.
South Mall Towers.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a different tower.
Yeah. It's right across from McDonald's, well,
Yes,
grocery store.
right,
Now,
grocery store now.
the old McDonald's on Pearl and Madison. Yes.
Smoothie store.
Smoothie store. I have yet to go in.
Me too.
But there's
Oh.
2 mattresses in the parking lot right now.
What?
Mattresses,
Oh, yeah. All right, well,
not exactly, but
okay.
I know,
So that actually concludes, all that I have to say, unless there's any questions.
I don't have any specific, does anybody else? I was looking quickly at the, finances,
Mm-hmm.
recognizing the dramatic effect of the loss of income that we've had, but also recognizing that the interest rate environment has been somewhat positive in terms of return on investment.
Yeah.
Where are we investing? I think it's a key bank, right? Our investment income money, where is that?
We have some at, KeyBank, but we also have, what's the other bank? You're gonna put me on the spot right now, because I don't have it off the top of my head, but we have.
More specifically, could you tell me what that rate is at some point?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Just be curious.
Yep. I can. I don't have it off the top of my head, but I definitely can.
so that interest rate from what you're mentioning, Mike,
Yeah.
that will reduce,
No,
if you will, or expand our.
so,
It
from an
might,
investment perspective, we want that, to get that maximized.
yeah.
And right now, just knowing what the market looks like, there's
What I,
understanding that you're very limited in what you can invest in. There's opportunity to make money,
yeah.
and also recognizing that we're,
What I can tell you, right now, the majority is at KeyBank, that I know, but I also know that we look at it on an annual basis for that purpose.
yeah,
And we have it written,
you should be looking at that
yes,
on a at this point.
because of the increase. We can take a look at that, but we do have our agreement, we have an agreement that allows us to do that and move if
Yeah,
necessary.
they should be,
That allows us,
as their
yeah.
bank, they should be giving,
because I know before
a
there was,
fair return on that.
yeah.
Do they match, say Chiquita went and said, we're looking at,
They would.
They make it competitive.
Yeah.
They have in the past, yes.
Point being, you should be able to get about 4.5% to 5%.
Yes.
Right now, which
Yes.
is, you know,
I'll look at it. I think the last time it might have been
$70,000.
Wow, good, I'll take it.
yeah.
And you wanna make sure you're not getting 2%.
That I know we're not. Yeah.
Money market, or
Mhm.
CD, or, treasuries,
Yeah.
which is really what you're limited to. But if they should be very competitive,
Yes.
you know, some of the regional banks right now.
Good point.
Just bringing that up.
Yeah, we'll get that for you, but, I don't have it off the
Yeah,
off the
understood.
top of my head, but, yeah.
Having said that, is there any other further comments, concerns, questions about today's packet, today's meeting?
None.
Further congratulations on, all the good work that you're doing, and I really do like this engagement
Yeah.
idea. You know, the more we can do with that, I think it's, holistic in a lot of ways. It can help the community, not just in our mission, but trying to make, the Andrew community a little bit better. So thank you for that.
Thank you for your support, because I have to say, I wouldn't be able to do it without the support of the board, so I appreciate the vote of confidence in me
Very,
and allowing me to do it.
very kind of you. Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion made.
Can I get a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Time to go. Thank you, everybody.
You.
Thank you. Let me just,
Mike, I got a quick question.
thank you, Cheyenne.
You got a quick second?
I told him.